I got to watch what I say sometimes. I was talking about how the horses raced. I felt that how I explained the night was a little harsh, maybe, and it wasn't that I was angry, but I did want to revisit the video that I made on the way home about the horses tonight. Now, we'll talk quickly about all of them. My first video was 13 minutes long. I don't know if that's necessary to explain our entire Sunday. It was a pretty quiet Sunday, really. I didn't have a whole lot to do here. Amy and I are kind of caught in the middle. We were there's a deer. Ooh, right on the side of the road. Ollie had baseball game canceled. I didn't get to see it. Now he plays Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Amy and the kids have to get up and make their way to Columbus for Next Generation Day. I'll start my Saturday likely at the Meadows and then rendezvous with them in Columbus. Now I can't remember exactly. I have to look at the staking when I get home. I don't know what we have on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I plan on being in Ontario to watch Oliver play baseball. Now Sunday we're going to take our time. Maybe hang out maybe we'll stay down in the Columbus area, hang out in the pool, relax, and make our way back to Ontario. Now the problem with that is, well, the 2 cars there. So, and I think we have to drive 2 cars because I'm going to have to come back before Amy. Anyway, that's an Amy and Anthony problem, not a you problem. So I did want to talk about the way the horses raced today. For the most part, I was happy. A little disappointed with My Wicked Heart, but I think, it's hard to be mad at a horse that just can't do more, right? It'd be easy to come on, like Dominic said, I think she was slipping. And he was being nice. He said, but I also think she's not good enough. It's a fair statement. Slipping is great, but there's slipping and then there's slipping. And if she was slipping tonight, I don't see how you can have her unslipping and get from what I saw tonight to an effective horse for the stable. It's just not likely. So My Wicked Heart will likely be added to that list of horses to move. Now we won't be selling those horses until tomorrow. Now, I did look at some horses. I will say this quickly, and I did not say it in the other video. I will be looking at a couple of horses and watching them sell tomorrow on Preferred, just to see how that takes place and what goes on. There are some horses that I'm mildly interested in, depending on the price. So we will have a look at that. And that is in line with what I just said. My Wicked Heart and a few other horses, probably 4 or 5 other horses, will find their way onto the sale block 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is only fair. They have 2 weeks to turn it around, but I just don't see it happening. So we'll see how that plays out. Hallie in the Clouds, man, she has spent an awful long time on the outside of the racetrack her last 2 races. And I've never driven her, so I'm not saying she's an easy horse to drive. I could see what happened with Nick. Nick just wanted to keep her out of trouble and keep her trotting forward. Was a little indecisive a couple of times in the mile, but that'll happen with a trotter you don't know. You've never raced before. You've never driven the horse before. It's hard to know exactly what she can or he can or can't do, right? So everything we look at is in hindsight, which isn't really fair to him. But tonight, missed the gate by a good 2 lengths, which I know James touched the gate and she made a break on him a couple of starts ago, maybe. So maybe Austin had maybe asked Mark, what about the filly? Don't hit the gate with her, maybe you said. But again, without knowing her top speed, it's hard to time her into the gate. Ended up getting away. He's like 7th on the outside. There was just nothing really there. He had to continue on. He ended up in a good spot, second over, and spent the last turn for some of it on the inside. But again, the 4 to 5 horse out of the 9 hole, I'm not familiar with the horse, but must be a decent horse to have the 9 hole at Georgian Downs and be 4 to 5. Ended up second to that particular horse. I thought she raced good, but I would like to see her opened up a little bit, right? Drop the hammer on Hallie is what I would like to see happen. Shake her up a little bit, put a new lifetime mark on this filly and get her moving forward rather than having her flat-footed in a neutral. And again, this is not Nick's fault. This is not Austin's fault. You have to know the horse, and that is not their fault. I would like to see either Austin drive the filly again, or I would love to get a chance to get in behind Hallie in the Clouds. But that's unlikely to happen right now. So it's unfortunate that she spent a lot of time in the outside, but having, as I said, without knowing the horses that well, the 4 to 5 shot had the 9 hole. So probably was a pretty good filly in her own right. And Hallie was second to her. So a good job nonetheless, finished second. But I think we're just scratching the surface when it comes to this filly. And I would like to see a lot more out of her in the very near future. Now, Stay Close. I remembered him. It was like, as they say, deja vu all over again. I scored him down tight and he made a break. He did that the first time I raced him here. It's almost like he's trying to size the turn up. He's like, okay, my hobbles are a little too tight. He's the opposite. You can't screw around. You can't screw him down tight and tighten the hobbles up. He doesn't like them that way. You almost got to let them out. And I let them out a couple of holes. We had the head pull on him tight. I just let him relax. I scored him down again the second time. And it's so weird. You can almost feel him shifting himself. And then boom, he'll take off through the turn and trotted through it. Now, the 2-horse had me beat out fair and square, which kind of sucked because it was a long shot. I knew he was 30-1. Who's the other horse coming out of there? The 4, maybe, I believe. Burke's horse. I believe so, yes. And then it really didn't matter if I filled the hole going around the first turn on Stolly. He's just going to keep going to the front and win. Or if I let him in, he just stays in for a second and away he goes to the outside and he'd win. Now, I was ready and happy and willing to come first over, even though Stay Close didn't seem super sharp tonight, because it's a half, right? It does zap some of his energy. He's a big horse. But I was more than willing to come first over. I ended up second over behind the Caviar horse, and he didn't turn in to be great cover. I couldn't catch him anyway, getting into the last turn, and then I came 3 wide. Listen, Stay Close. 1 is not an open trotter. Somebody said, yeah, it's kind of soft. Let me let you in a little secret. There's no soft opens anywhere. You can take good horses from anywhere and race them on a track like Northfield Park in an open against some of these battle-tested half-mile specialists, and you're going to find one thing. It's not easy. It's never easy on a half racing against those open half-mile horses. It's never easy. So I thought I was third going onto the wire. I heard the announcer call Aaron. I'm like, excuse me, I think I was just third. But I wasn't. He was right. I was wrong. And got beat a nose. Now this is also a horse been off 2.5, 3 weeks. So, no slouch. Raced in the open. Punched above his weight class. Now the rail, usually on a half, is a great equalizer, but not super helpful to me tonight. Still ended up in a second over position. If I stay in, I'm third. Instead, I moved over and I was fourth. So, I thought he raced okay. Now, Arrowhead Hanover was... it was funny because I get a call from Mark. And I watched the race, and I stewed a little bit because I was a little mad, but only because I know the horse. You gotta understand. Mark, there's no way for Mark to know Arrowhead Hanover like I do, right? And I told him, you gotta watch, he ducks in the turn. Now, I forgot to tell him, he does pull up in the last turn if he's first over, because I just didn't envision him being first over. Arrowhead Hanover can leave with the car. And I think Mark said he knew Shadle was going to go out of there. He wanted to follow Scotty. He thought Scotty's horse was a good horse. You got to understand, our horse is only 1 in 59. And as much as I tell Mark he's a better horse, he has to see that also, right? And he was honest about it. And quite frankly, in hindsight, the only way he loses that race is the way he drove him, right? If he leaves, sits in the 2-hole, he wins. He comes harder first over, he wins. Instead, he comes slow first over. And well, he didn't come slow. But when he almost cleared in the last turn, Arrowhead Hanover, he hears those voices in his head, eh? I've seen that movie before with him. That's why we wear the Murphy on the outside. He doesn't get out in the straightaways. It's because if you're too wide in the last turn uncovered, he's vulnerable. And he'll wander to the outside. That's why that Murphy's there. Anyway, I can tell you one thing. It's racing. I don't want to give Mark McDonald a million instructions, right? Does a great job with horses and does a great job with 2-year-old trotters, especially also. And it's unfortunate. He'll be the first to admit that, the way that he ended up racing the horse was not a benefit and probably an impediment and cost us a win. But having said that, I can't blame him because it looked like he drove the horse right. I just know Arrowhead Hanover. And here's the thing. Now Mark does too. The one thing about Mark McDonald is he won't make a mistake twice. Not on the racetrack. Not with a horse. He's always great that way. Everybody, it's human nature. Everybody makes a mistake now and again. But great drivers, they rarely make them twice. And he is a great driver. So we have the Poconos, and we have Philadelphia the rest of the summer. That was the other important reason. I could have went there and drove the horse tonight. But there's going to be 2 races for a lot of money this summer that I know there's a pretty good chance I can't make. I think this is a quality colt. I think he's handy. And I think he's a sire stake colt. Now, this is the All-Stars, but it isn't the be-all that ends all. There are horses lurking out there that we haven't seen. The other division went in 57. I don't think anybody is going to flat out trot Arrowhead Hanover right now. 57 is no problem for this colt. I know it's not. But now, the mistake he made tonight, he won't get ahead of Mark again. Mark will see that coming. Mark will put him in a better spot. And for the Philadelphia and Poconos races, it's vitally important that we had somebody that knows him, because those races will go for quite a bit more. And if we have good luck in the sire stakes, we have a good chance of having luck in the final. And that final is usually $253,000. I remember, because I was second beat ahead in 2 of them. One with Lawmaker and the other one with White Tiger. So very aware of what they go for. So although we did leave, Mark's right, we left a little bit of money on the table tonight. It was a learning experience for the horse, and it was a learning experience for Mark also. So I think we'll have a great summer now with Arrowhead Hanover. What he showed me tonight was that he still is very green, but that he is fast. And the fact that he tried to pull up in the last turn and come back on and was charging again at the wire means he's a durable horse also. So, although it did cost a little bit of money, I think it might be it was a good investment long term, because I think we got a pretty talented colt on our hands in Arrowhead Hanover. So, I'm much happier, chipper. I wasn't angry in my other video. I wasn't angry at all. I just didn't think I conveyed what I was trying to say the best I could. So there you have it. There's a rundown from today. Tomorrow we have Don't Talk About Bruno and George of the Jungle in Dresden, the hottest place in the universe, on July the 1st. I've spent many of July the 1st at stake races in Dresden, and it is usually a cooker. Yo Mister racing tomorrow. He's in a good spot tomorrow, I think. James is driving him. Serious Dragon found himself in a good spot at Mohawk also. I think he's 4-1. James is driving him. Brace for Landing is buried. Like Jimmy Hoffa buried. Looks like money is in Tough tomorrow too in the free-for-all, but coming off a win. Very interested to see how far that win goes for his confidence. I'd like to see a great race from him. And then we do end the night with a 9-5 favorite in the form of Great Bet. So, there you have it. We have lots going on this week. Oh my. I texting Tim, a ton of horses being entered Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Meadows. Saturday will be double duty for me. I'll be at the Meadows likely in the afternoon, and then Scioto for the Next Generation races at night. Amy and the kids are going to hang out and do some work this week in Ontario. They are going to rendezvous, as I said, with me in Scioto next Saturday. It should be a lot of fun. So a big week ahead. Big week ahead. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a decent night, and I hope you have a great week ahead. I hope we all have a great week ahead. I will talk to you all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, all 36 minutes of it. Take care.